Hello and welcome to the final Shakespeare sitting. Woo! It has been a fun week with all of the Shakespeare. And guess what? In the break between part 1 and part 2 of today, we raised $110 in the 2 hours that I was taking a break. $110. We're now at $964 away from Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. A mere $36 away from $1,000. $36 away from $1,000. That is incredible. In 1 week, having raised almost $1,000 for this organization. It's really great. Thank you so much to everyone who has donated and the people who donated in the last hour. Lori, thank you, and my grandfather, Babaji, thank you. Thank you so much to everyone who has donated. And if you would like to contribute to help us get to $1,000 for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, the link is in the description down below, and it is going to be in the chat over there right now. So please consider donating just $34 till just $34 to $1,000. So please consider donating to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. If we do happen to make it to $1,000, here's how many people we will have helped. Wait, let me do some math really quickly. We will have provided 800 people with healthy meals. We will have provided home care for 10 people struggling in their fight with AIDS. We will have covered life-saving medications for 1 month for 4 young men who are out of work and don't have health insurance. And we would have helped pay overdue rent and kept 2 single moms with cancer and their children from becoming homeless. That is how many people we would have helped. And with just $34 more dollars. Oh, sorry, it's $36 more dollars. 34, 36, same thing. Just $36 more dollars till we've helped that many people. So please consider donating. And now I'm taking a lot of time for this because it's very exciting. But now I am going to get back to Macbeth, which is what I last left off on. In case you were not watching last stream, I have decided that saying Macbeth is fine and is not going to cause doom because I'm in a room in my house instead of a big theater, which is the superstition is if you say it in a theater, then doom. Anyways, okay. Let me get started. Act 2, Scene 4. Enter Ross with an old man. Old man. 70 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I have been seen hours dreadful and things strange, but this sore night hath trifled former knowings. Ross. Ha, good father, thou seest the heavens as troubled with man's act threatens his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the traveling lamp. It's night predominus, or the day's shame, that darkness does the face of earth entomb when living light should kiss it. Old man. 'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, the falcon, towering in her pride of place, was by a musing owl hawked at and killed. Ross. and Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain. Beauteous and swift, the minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience, as as they would make war with mankind. Old man. 'Tis said they ate each other. Ross. They did so, to the amazement of mine eyes, they that looked upon it. Enter Macduff. Here comes the good Macduff. How how goes the world, sir, now? Macduff. Why, see you not? Ross. It's known who did this more than bloody deed. Macduff. Those that Macbeth hath slain. Ross. Alas the day. What good could they pretend? Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. Ross. Alas the day. What good could they pretend? Macduff. They were sovereigned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's 2 sons, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed. Ross. 'Gainst 2 nature still, thriftless ambition that will raven up thine own life's means. When 'tis most like this sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth. Macduff. He is already named and gone to Scone to be invested. Ross. Where is Duncan's body? Macduff. Carried to Colmkill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of their bones. Ross. Will you to Scone? Macduff. No, cousin, all to Ross. Will you to Scone? Macduff. No, cousin, all to Fife. Ross. Well, Well, I will tither. Macduff. Ross. Well, I will tither. Macduff. Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, lest our old robes sit easier than our new. Ross. Farewell, father, old man. God's benison go with you and with those that would make good of bad and friends of foes. Excellent omens. Act 3, Scene 1. Enter Banquo. Banquo. Thou hast it now, king. Cawdor glamis all as the weird women promised, and I fear thou playedest most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy prosperity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them as upon thee, Macbeth, their speechless shine, why by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more. Senate sounded. Enter Macbeth as king, Lady Macbeth as queen, Lennox, Ross, lords, and attendants. Macbeth. Here's our chief guest, Lady Macbeth. If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming. Macbeth. Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence. Banquo. Let your highness command upon me to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie forever knit. Macbeth. Ride you this afternoon? Banquo. Ay, my good lord. Macbeth. We should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been grave and prosperous in this day's council, but will take tomorrow. Is it far you ride? Banquo. As far, my lord, as will fill up the time, twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better. I must become a borrower of the night, for a dark hour or twain. Macbeth. Fail not our feast. Banquo. My lord, I will not. Macbeth. We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hairs with strange invention. But of that tomorrow. Then therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Hie you to horse, adieu, till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you? Banquo. Ay, my good lord. Our time does call upon us. Macbeth. I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Exit Banquo. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night, to make society the sweeter welcome. We will keep ourselves till supper time alone. While then, God be with you. Exeunt lords and others. To servant. Sirrah, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure. Servant. They are my lord, without the palace gate. Macbeth. Bring them before us. Yes, it is super close to 1,000. Yes. In fact, just a mere $36 away from $1,000 for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. Macbeth. Bring them before us. Exit servant. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus, our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There's none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked, as it is said Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then prophet prophet like they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, and thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue I have filed my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan, I have murdered, put rancors in the vessel of my peace, only for them and mine eternal jewel, given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, to seeds of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion to me utterance. Who's there? Enter servant and two murderers. To servant. Now go to the door and stay there till we call. Exit servant. Was it not yesterday we spoke together? Murderers. It was, so please your highness. Macbeth. Well then. Now have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in the times past which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you in our last conference, passed in probation with you how you were born in hand, how cross the instruments, who wrought with them, and all things else that might, to half a soul to a notion crazed, say thus did Banquo. First murder. You made it known to us. Macbeth. I did so and went farther, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? If you are so gospelled to pray this good man for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave, and beggared yours forever? First murder. We are men, my liege. Macbeth. Aye, in the catalogue ye go for men, as hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, shogs, water rugs, demi-wolves are clept all by the name of dogs. Sorry, give me 1 second. What am I reading now? I am reading Macbeth. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, the Scottish play. And the valued file distinguishes the shift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter, every one according to the gift whose bounteous nature hath in him closed, whereby he does receive particular addition from the bill that writes them all alike, and so have been. Now, if you have a station in the file, not at the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who wear our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect. Second murder, I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless what I do spite the world. First murder, and I another, so weary with disasters tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend it or be rid on it. Macbeth, both of you know Banquo was your enemy. Excuse me. Murders. 'Tis true, my lord. Macbeth, so he is mine, and in such bloody distance that every minute of and in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life, and though I could with barefaced power sweep him from my sight, I bid you watch avouch it. Yet I must not, for certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down. And is it to thence is it that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business of masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons. I will be back in 1 minute. All right, I'm back. Okay, then. Oh, ooh. Thank you so much, Macy, who is my cousin, for donating $62. We are now at $1,026 for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. Thank you so much for all your donations. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is so incredibly generous. We have now provided sorry, I'm doing the numbers in my head. 800. We've provided 800 people with healthy meals. 10 home care for 10 people struggling in their fight with AIDS. We've covered life-saving medications for 1 month for 4 young men who are out of work and don't have health insurance. And we've paid overdue rent and kept a single mom with cancer and her children from becoming homeless. So thank you so much for all your generous donations. Yes, we've passed $1,000 from a goal of $100. $1,026 for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to continue reading. Whew. It's exciting. It's very, very exciting. Okay. Second murder. We shall, my lord, perform what you command us. Sorry, normally I wouldn't be smiling saying the line of the second murderer talking about how he's gonna murder people. I'm just so happy that we passed $1,000 for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. First murder. Though our lives, Macbeth, your spirits shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy all the time. The moment on it for must be done tonight, and something from the palace always thought that I desire a clearness, and with him to leave no rubs nor botches in the work. Fleets his son that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon. Murders. We are resolved, my lord. Macbeth. I'll call upon you straight. Abide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it be heaven, must find it out tonight. Excellent. Act 3, Scene 2. Enter Macbeth's lady and a servant. Lady Macbeth. Is Banquo gone from court? Servant. Ay, madam, but returns again tonight. Lady Macbeth. Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words. Servant. Madam, I will. Exit. Lady Macbeth. Naught's had, all's spent, where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. Enter Macbeth. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on? Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done. Macbeth. We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and buy herself whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint, both the world suffer, ere we will eat our meal in fear, and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead whom we to gain our peace have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel nor prison. Malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further. Lady Macbeth. Come on. Gentle, my lord. Sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight. Macbeth. So shall I love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him emience both with eye and tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honors in these flattering streams, and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are. Lady Macbeth. You must leave this, Macbeth. Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his fleance lives, Lady Macbeth. But in them nature's copies do not etern. Macbeth. There's comfort yet, they are assailable. Then be thou jonked, ere the bat hath flown. He cloistered flight, ere to black Kate summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums hath rung night's yawning peal. There shall be done a deed of dreadful note. Lady Macbeth. What's to be done, Macbeth? Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse. whilst night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelest at my words, but hold thee still. Things, ba- things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee go with me. Excellent. Act 3, Scene 3. Enter enter three murderers. First murder. But who did but who did bid thee join with us? Second murder. Macbeth. Third murder. Macbeth. Second murder. He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices and what we have to do to the direction just. First murder. Then stand with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurred the lated traveller apace to gain the timely inn, and near approaches the subject of our watch. Third murder. Hark, I hear horses. Banquo, within. Give us a light there, ho! Second murder. Then 'tis he, the rest, that are within the note of expectation, already in the court. First murder. His horses go about. Third murder. Almost a mile, but he does usually, so all men do, but from hence to the palace gate make it their walk. Enter Banquo and Flins with a torch. Second murder. A light, a light. Third murder. 'Tis he. First Enter Banquo and Flins with a torch. Second murder. A light, a light. Third murder. 'Tis he. First murder. Stand to it. Banquo. It will be rain tonight. First murder. Let it come down, Banquo. Oh, treachery. Fly, good Flins. Fly, fly, fly. Exit Flins. Thou mayest revenge, O slave. Banquo slain. Third murder. Who did strike out the light? First murder. Was not the way? Third murder. But one's down. The sun is fled. Second murder. We have lost best half of our affair. First murder. Well, let's away and say how much is done. Excellent. Act 3, Scene 4. Banquet prepared. Enter Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, Ross, Lennox, lords, and attendants. Okay. Macbeth. You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome. Act 3, Scene 4. Banquet prepared. Enter Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, Ross, Lennox, lords, and attendants. Macbeth. You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome. Lords. Thanks to your majesty. Macbeth. Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time will require her welcome. Lady Macbeth. Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends, for my heart speaks they are welcome. Enter, first murder. See, they encounter thee with their hearts' thanks. Both sides are even. Here I'll sit in the mist. Be large in mirth. Anon will drink a measure. The table goes round. Goes to murder. There's blood upon thy face. First murder. 'Tis Banquo's then. Macbeth. 'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched? First murder. My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him. Macbeth. Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for fleance. If thou didst it, thou art the non-peril. First murder. Most royal sir, fleance is escaped. Macbeth. Then comes my fleance escaped. Macbeth. Then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect. Whole as the marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. But now I am combined, cribbed, confined, bound in this to saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo safe? First murder. I, my good lord, safe in a ditch where he bides, with 20 trenched gashes on his head, the least a death to nature. Macbeth. Thanks for that. The grown serpent lies, the worm that's fled, hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present, get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again. Exit, murder. Lady Macbeth. My royal lord, you do not give us cheer. The feast is sold that is not often vouched, while 'tis a making, 'tis given with welcome. To feed we're best at home. From thence the sauce to meat is ceremony, meeting were bare without it. Macbeth. Sweet remembrance. Now, good digestion, wait on appetite, and health on both. Lennox. Mayst please your highness, sir. Macbeth. Here had we now our country's honor roofed, were the graced person of our Banquo present. Enter the ghost of Banquo and sits in Macbeth's place. Whom may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance? Ross. His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Pleases to your highness to grace us with your royal company? Macbeth. The table's full. Lennox. Here is a place reserved, sir. Macbeth. Where? Lennox. Here, my good lord. What is it that moves your highness? Macbeth. Which of you have done this? Lords. What, my good lord? Macbeth. Thou canst say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me. Ross. Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well. Lady Macbeth. Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you seat. This fit is momentary. Upon a thought he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man? Macbeth. Ay, and a bold one that dare look upon that which might appall the devil. Lady Macbeth. Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts, impostors of to true fear, imposters, imposters, imposters to true fear would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire, authorized by her gentleman. Shame itself! Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool. Macbeth. Prithee, see there, behold, look, lo! How say you? Why, what care I, if thou canst not speak to, if charnel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites. Exit Ghost. Lady Macbeth. What, quite unmanned and fully? Macbeth. If I stand here, I saw him. Lady Macbeth. Fie, for shame! Macbeth. Blood hath been shed ere now in the olden time, ere humane statue purged the gentle wheel. Aye, and since too murders have been performed, too terrible for the ear. The time has been that when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now thy rise again with 20 mortal murderers on their crowns that push us from our stools. This is more strange than a murder is. Okay. Yes, thank you, generous donors. Lady Macbeth. My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you. Macbeth. I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity which is nothing to those that know me. Come, know and health to all. Then all sit down. Give me some wine, fill full. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Brankwell, whom we miss. Would we were here. Enter Ghost. To all and him we thirst, and all to all. Lords, our duties and the pledge. Macbeth. Avaunt and quit my sight. Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless. Thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with, Lady Macbeth. Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom, 'tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time. Macbeth. What man dare I dare? Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, or the hyrcan tiger. Take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble, or be alive again, and dare me to the desert with thy sword. If trembling I inhabit, then protest me the baby of a girl. Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery. Hence, exit ghost. Why, so being gone, I am a man again. Pray you sit still. Lady Macbeth, you have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder. Macbeth, can such things be and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange even to the disposition that I owe. When now I when now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear. Ross. What sights, my lord? Lady Macbeth. I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once. Lennox. Good night and better health attend his majesty. Lady Macbeth. A kind good night to all. Exeunt lords. Macbeth. It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have, by magpies and coughs and rooks, brought forth the secretest man of blood. What is the night, Lady Macbeth? Almost at odds with morning. Which is which? Macbeth. How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding? Lady Macbeth. Did you send to him, sir? Oh, and there's something here I'm not sure if I said. Right after Lady Macbeth says a kind good night to all, it's exeunt lords. I may have skipped that. I'm not sure. If any. Well, moving on to where we left off on here. Lady Macbeth. Did you send to him, sir? Macbeth. I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them, but in his house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst. For mine own good, all causes shall give away. I am in blood returning, whereas I'm in blood stepped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as I go o'er. Strange things I have in head that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned. Lady Macbeth, you lack the season of all natures, sleep. Macbeth, come, we'll to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the infinite fear that wants hard use. We are but young indeed. Excellent. And I'll be right back in 1 minute. All right. Awesome. Act 3, Scene 5. Thunder. Enter the three witches. Meeting Hecate. Hecate? I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. Okay. How to pronounce Hecate in Macbeth? It says Hecate, but in Shakespeare it's Hecate. Okay, is what it says. Okay then. So Hecate in Shakespeare, Hecate. Awesome. Okay. Hecate. First witch. Why, how now, Hecate, you look angrily. Hecate. Have I not reason, beldams as you are, saucy and overbold? Saucy and overbold? How did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth in riddles and affairs of death, and I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of all harms, was never called to bear my part or show the glory of our arts. And which is worse, all you have done hath been but for a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do, loves for loves for his own ends, not for you. But make amends now, get you gone, and at a pit of Acheron me meet me in the morning. Thither he will come to know his destiny. Your vessels and your spells provide, your charms and everything beside. I am for the air, this night I'll spend into dismal and a fateful end. Um, this night I'll spend unto a dismal and fateful end. Great, great business must be wrought ere noon upon the corner of the moon. There hangs a vaporous drop profound. I'll catch it ere it come to ground, and that distilled to magic distilled to magic slates, shall raise such artificial sprites as by the strength of their illusion shall draw him on to his confusion. He shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes above wisdom, grace, and fear. You know all his security is mortal's chiefest enemy, music and a song. First spirit within. Hecate, 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 oh come away. Hecate, hark, hark, I am called. My little spirit see sits in a foggy cloud and stays for me. First spirit within. Come away, Hecate, Hecate. Oh, come away. Hecate, I come with all the speed I may. Where's Standlane? Second spirit within. Here. Hecate, where's Puckle? Second spirit within. Here. Hecate, where's Puckle? Second spirit within. Here, first spirit within. And Hopper too, and Hellway too. We want but you. Come away, make up the count. Hecate, I will but anoint and then I'll mount. I will but anoint and then I'll mount. First spirit within. Here comes down one to fetch his due, a kiss, a call, a sip of blood. And why thou stayest so long I muse, since the air's so sweet and good. Hecate, oh, art thou come? What news? Second spirit within. All goes for our delight, either come or else refuse. Now I am furnished for the flight. Now I go and now I fly. Malkin, my sweet spirit, and I. Third spirit within. Oh, what a dainty pleasure is this, to sail. What a dainty pleasure is this, to sail in the air while the moon shines fair, to sing, to toy, to dance and kiss, o'er woods high rocks and mountains, o'er hills and misty fountains, o'er steeples, towers, and turrets. We fly by night amongst troops and spirits. No ring of bells to our ears sounds, nor howl of wolves, nor yelps of hounds. No, nor the noise of water's breach, nor cannons' throats our height can reach. Exit Hecate, first spirit within. Come, let's make haste. She'll soon be back again. Second spirit within. But whilst she moves through the foggy air, let's to the cave and our dire charms prepare. Exeunt. Act 3, Scene 6. Enter Lennox and another lord. Lennox, my former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret farther. Only I say things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth. Marry, he was dead, and the right valiant Banquo walked too late, whom, if you may, say, if it please you, Fleance killed, for Fleance fled. Men must not walk too late, who cannot want the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm and for Donalbain to kill their gracious father. Damned fact, how it did grieve Macbeth. Did he not straight and pious rage the two delinquents tear that were the slaves of drink and thralls to sleep? Was not that nobly done? Ay, and wisely too, for 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the men deny it. So that I say he has borne all things well, and I do think that had he Duncan's sons under his key, as and please heaven he shall not, they should find what 'twere to kill a father. So should Fleance, but peace, for from broad words and cause he failed. His presence at the tyrant's feast I hear. Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell where he bestows himself? Lord, the son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in the English court and is received of the most pious Edward with such grace that the malevolence of fortune nothing takes from his high respect. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king upon his age to wake Northumberland and warlike Seward, that by the help of these, by him with above to ratify the work, we may again give to our tables meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquets, bloody knives, do faithful homage and receive free honors, all which we pine for now. And this report hath so exasperate the king that he prepares for some attempt of war. Lennox, send he to Macduff? Lord, he did, and with an absolute Sir, not I, the cloudy messenger turns me his back and hums as who should say, you'll rue the time that clogs me with this answer. Lennox, and that well might advise him to a caution to hold what distance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly to the court of England and unfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this our suffering country under a hand accursed. Lord, I'll send my prayers with him. Exeunt. 1 hour. I'm not sure if I said that already, but if I did, yay! If I did, and if I didn't, yay! We are at 1 hour. Sorry, give me 1 minute. Okay, sorry about that. Act 4. Did I already do Act 3, Scene 6 or not? If anyone who's watching knows what scene I last did, please let me know. Anyone? Anyone know what scene I just did? Did I just do the one with all of the spirits, or did I just do the one with Lennox and Board? Anyone? Anyone know? Lennox Lord or spirits? I'm not sure. No one knows? Okay then. I will just read the Lennox and Lord one. Okay then. Act 3, Scene 6. Enter Lennox and another lord. Lennox, my former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret farther. Only I say things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth. Marry, he was dead, and the right valiant Banquo walked too late, whom you may say, if pleased you, Fleance killed, for Fleance fled. Men may must not walk too late. Who cannot want the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm and for Dollabane to kill their gracious father. Damned fact, how it did grieve Macbeth. Did he not strain in pious rage? Did he not straight in pious rage the two delinquents tear that were the slaves of drink and thralls and thralls of sleep? Was not the nobly done? Aye, and wisely too, for 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the men deny it. So that I say he has borne all things well, and I do think too that had he Duncan's sons under his key, as and please heaven, he shall not they should find were what 'twere kill a father, so should fleance, but peace, for the broad words and cause he failed his presence at the tyrant's feast. I hear Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell where he bestows himself? Lord, the son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds due of birth, lives in the English court, and is received of the most pious England with such grace that the malevolence of fortune nothing takes from his high respect. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king upon his age to wake Northumberland and warlike seaward, that by the help of these, with him above to ratify the work, we may again give to our tables meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquets bloody knives. Do faithful homage and receive free honors, all which we pine for now. And this report hath so exasperate the king that he prepares for some attempt of war. Lennox, sent he to Macduff? Lord, he did, and with an absolute sir not I, the cloudy messenger, turns his back and hums, as who should say, you'll rue the time that clogs me with this answer, Lennox, and that well might his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly to the court of England and unfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this is our suffering country under a hand accursed. Lord, I'll send my prayers with him. Excellent. Act 4, Scene 1, Thunder. Enter the three witches. Act 4, Scene 1, Thunder. Enter the three witches. First witch, thrice the brindled cat hath mewed. Second witch. Thrice and one the hedge pig whined. Third witch. Um. Third witch. Harpier cries, "'Tis time, 'tis time." First witch. Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned in tails throw. Toad that under cold stone days and nights have 31 sweltering venom sleeping pot. Boil thou first in the charmed sweltering venom sleeping got. Boil thou first in the charmed pot. Double, double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Second witch. Fillet of a fenny snake in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of a newt and toe of a frog, wool of bat and tongue of a dog, adder's fork and blindworm's sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing, for a charm of a powerful trouble, like a hell broth, boil and bubble. All double, double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Third witch. Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf, of the ravine salt sea shark, root of hemlock dagged in the dark, liver of blasphemy Jew, gall of goats, and slips of you so slivered in the moon's eclipse, nose of Turk and Tartar's lips, finger of birth strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab, make the gruel thick and slab, and thereto a tiger's chaldron for the ingredients of our cauldron. All double, double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Second witch. Cool it with a baboon's blood, and then the charm is firm and good. Enter Hecate and the other 3 witches. Hecate. Oh, well done. I commend your pains, and every one shall share in the gains. And now about the cauldron sing like elves and fairy in a ring, enchanting all that you put in, music and a song. Hecate. Black spirits and white, red spirits and gray, mingle, 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 that you mingle may. Is that a song? I'm not sure. I'm going to look that up. If so, I will sing it. Yep, it's a song. Yay! Oh, I love the songs. Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. Black spirits and white, red spirits and gray. Mingle, 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 you let mingle may. Fourth witch. Tiffin, tiffin, keep it stiffin. Fifth witch. Fire Drake, Pucky, make it lucky. Hecate. Liar, Robin, you must bobbin. Chorus. Around, 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 about, all ill come running in, all good keep out. Fourth witch. Here's the blood of a bat. Hecate. Oh, put in that. Fifth witch. Here's lizard's brain. Hecate. Put in grain. Fourth witch. Here's juice of a toad. Here's oil of an otter. That will make the charm grow madder. Fifth witch. Put in all these. 'Twill raise the stench. Hecate. Nay, here's 3 ounces of a red-haired wench. Chorus. Around, about, all ill come running in, all good keep out. Excellent, Hecate and the 3 singers. All good keep out. Excellent, Hecate and the 3 singers. Second witch. By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks. Enter Macbeth. Macbeth. How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is it you do? Oh, a deed without a name. Macbeth. I conjure you that by that which you profess, however you come to know it, answer me. Though you entide the winds and let them fight against the churches through the yeasty waves, confound and swallow navigation up, through bladed corn though bladed corn be lodged in trees blown down, though castles topple o'er their warders' heads, though palaces and pyramids do slope their heads to their foundations, though the treasure of nature's Germans tumble altogether, even till destruction sicken, answer me to what I ask you. First witch. Speak. Second witch. Demand. Third witch. Will answer. First witch. Say if thou'st rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters. Macbeth. Call 'em. Let me see 'em. First witch. Pour in Sal's blood that hath eaten her 9 farrow, grease that sweating from the martyrs keep it throw into the flame. All come high or low, thyself an office deftly show. Thunder, first apparition, in armed head, Macbeth. Tell me, thou unknown power. First witch. He knows thy thought, hear his speech, but say thy not. First apparition. Macbeth, 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 beware Macduff, beware the Thane of Fife, dismiss me, enough. He descends. Macbeth, whate'er thou art for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright, but one word more. First witch. He will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first. Thunder, second apparition, a bloody child. Second apparition. Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Macbeth, had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee. Second apparition. Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth. Descends. Macbeth. Then live Macduff, for what need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies and sleep in spite of thunder. Thunder, third apparition, a child crowned with a tree in his hand. What is this that rises like the issue of a king and wears upon his baby brow the round of top and sovereignty? All, listen, but speak not to it. Third apparition. Be lion mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, and where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquish to be until great Burnham Wood to high Dunson and Hill shall come against him. Descends Macbeth. That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Sweet bodements good, rebellious dead rise, never till the wood of Burnham rise, and our hard and our high placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature and pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom? Oh, seek to know no more. Macbeth, I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know why sinks that cauldron, and what noise is this? Oh, boys. First witch, show! Second witch, show! Third witch, show! All, show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart. A show of 8 kings and Banquo, last king with a glass in his hand. Macbeth, thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down, thy crown does sear mine eyeballs, and thy sear mine eyeballs, and thy hair, thou other gold-bound brow is like the first, a third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? A fourth start eyes, what will the lines stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet, a seventh, I'll see no more, and yet the eighth appears, who bears a glass which shows me many more, and some I see that twofold balls and treble scepters carry. Horrible, horrible sight! Now I see 'tis true, for the blood bordered Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What, is this so? Exeunt apparitions. First witch. Ay, sir, all this is so, but why stands Macbeth thus amazingly? Come, sisters, cheer we up his sprites, and show the best of our delights. I'll charm the air and give a sound, while you perform your antic round, that this great king may kindly say, our duties did his welcome pay. Music, the witches dance, then vanish. Macbeth, where are they gone? Let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without thee. Enter Lennox. Okay. Come in without Come in without there. Enter Lennox. What's your grace's will? Macbeth. Saw you the weird sisters? Lennox. No, my lord. Macbeth. Came they not by you? Lennox. No indeed, my lord. Macbeth. Infected by the air wherein they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was it came by? Lennox. 2 or 3, my lord, to bring you word Macduff is fled to England. Macbeth. Fled to England? Lennox. Ay, my good lord. Macbeth. Aside. Time thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The mighty purpose never is o'ertook, unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very first lanes of my heart shall be the first lanes of my hand, and even now to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fifi, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in line. No boasting like a fool. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before this purpose cool. But no more sights. To Lennox. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are. Excellent. And we have, I think, 8 pages left. Okay. Act 4, Scene 2. Enter Macduff's wife, her son, and Ross. Lady Macduff. What had he done to make him fly the land? Ross. You must have patience, madam. Lady Macduff. He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears make us traitors. Ross. You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear. Lady Macduff. Wisdom, to leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion, and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly. He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. For the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, I will flight her young ones in her nest against the owl. All is the fear, and nothing is the love. All little is the wisdom, where the flight so runs against all reason. Ross. My dearest coz, I pray you school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits or the seasons. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors, and do but know ourselves, when we hold rumor from what we fear, yet know not what we fear, but float upon a wild and violent sea, each way and none. I'll take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before, to the sun. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you. Lady Macduff. Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless. Ross. I am so much a fool. Should I stay longer, I would be my disgrace at your discomfort. I'll take my leave at once. Ah, Hi, Nick. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, I am. I am noticing you. I take my leave at once. Exit. Lady Macduff. Sirrah, your father's dead, and what? Sirrah, your father's dead, and what will you do now? How will you live? Son, as birds do, mother. Lady Macduff. What, with worms and flies? Son, with what I get, I mean, and so do they. Lady Macduff. Poor bird, thou dost never fear the net nor line, the pitfall nor the gin. Son, why should I, mother? Poor birds, they are not set for. My father is not dead, for all your saying. Lady Macduff. Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father? Son. Nay, how wilt thou do for a husband? Lady Macduff. Why, I can buy me 20 at any market. Son, then you'll buy 'em to sell again. Lady Macduff. Thou speakest all thy wit, and yet I faith with wit enough for thee. Son, was my father a traitor, mother? Lady Macduff. Ay, that he was. Son, what is a traitor? Lady Macduff. Why, one that swears and lies. Son, and be all traitors do that so? Lady Macduff. Every one that does so is a traitor and must be hanged. Thank you so much, Nick. Okay, have fun getting something from school. Um, um, Lady Macduff. Every one, son. Who must hang them? Lady Macduff. Why, the honest men. Son. Then the liars and swearers are fools, for their liars and swearers enow to beat the honest men and hang them up. Lady Macduff. Now God help thee, poor monkey, but how wilt thou do for a father? Son. If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If you would not, it were a good sign that I should quickly have a new father. Lady Macduff. Poor prattler, how thou talkest. Enter a messenger. Messenger. Bless you, fair dame. I am not to you known, though in your state of honor I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. If you will take a homely man's advice, be not found here. Hence with your little ones to fright you thus, methinks I am too savage. To do worse with you fell cruelty, which is too nigh your person. Heaven preserve you, I dare abide no longer. Exit. Lady Macduff. Whither should I fly? I have done no harm, but I remember now I am in this earthly world where to do harm is often laudable, to do good sometime accounted dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up that womanly defense to say I have done no harm? Enter murderers. What are these faces? Murder. Where is your husband? Lady Macduff. I hope in no place so unsanctified where Lady Macduff. I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayst find him. Murder. He is a traitor. Son. Thou liest, thou shag-haired villain. Murder. What, you egg? Stabs him. Young fry of treachery. Son. He has killed me, mother. Run away, I pray you. Exit Lady Macduff crying murderer, pursued by murderers. Act 4, Scene 3. Enter Malcolm and Macduff. Malcolm. Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty. Macduff. Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and and like good men bestride our downfall birthed them. Each new morn, new windows howl, new orphans cry, new strike heaven on the face that it resound. Each new morn, new windows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face that it resounds as if felt with Scotland and yelled out like a syllable of dollar. Malcolm, what I believe I'll will, what no believe and what I can redress, I shall find the time to friend I will. What have you spoke so what have you spoke it may be so perchance. This tyrant who so named blisters our tongues was once thought honest. You have loved him well, he hath not touched you yet. I am young but something. You may deserve of him. You may deserve of him through me and wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease any angry god. Macduff, I am not treacherous, Malcolm, but Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil and an imperial charge, but I shall crave your pardon. That which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright, still though the brightest fell, through all things foul would wear the brows of grace. Yet grace must still look so. Macduff, I have lost my hopes. Malcolm, perchance even there, where I did find my doubts, why in that the rawness left you, you wife and child, thou those precious motives, those strong knots of love, without leave taking, I pray you, let not my jealous be your dishonors, but mine own safeties. I may be rightly just, whatever I shall think. Macduff, bleed, bleed. Macduff, bleed, bleed, poor country. Great tyrant, lay thou thy basest shore, for goodness dare not check thee where thou thy wrongs. This title is afeard. Fare thee well, lord. Be I would not be the villain that thou thinkest for the whole space in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot. Malcolm, be not offended. I speak as in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps and bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right, and here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I tread upon the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer than and more sundry ways than ever, by him that shall succeed. Macduff, what should he be? Malcolm, it is myself I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted that when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb, being compared with my confineless harms. Macduff, not in the legions of horrid hell can a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth. Malcolm, I grant him bloody, luxurious, affair, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name. But there's no bottom, none in my Walputers. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust and my desire. All continent impediments would o'erbear that did oppose my will. Better, better Macbeth than such in one to reign. Macduff, boundless and temperance. In nature is a tyranny. It hath been the untimely emptying of the happy throne and fall of many kings. But fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty, and yet seem cold the time you may so hoodwink. We have willing dames enough. There cannot be that vulture in you to devour so many as will to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined. Malcolm, with this there grows in my most ill-composed affection such a stanchless avarice that, were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels, um, desire his jewels and his other's house, and my more having would be as a sauce to make me hunger more that I should forge quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth. Macduff, this avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root than summer seeming lust, and it hath been the sword of our slain kings. Yet do not fear, Scotland hath foisons to fill up your will of your mere own, and all these are portable with other graces weighted. Malcolm, but I have none. The king becoming graces as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but abound in the division of each several crime, acting in many ways. Nay, had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth. Macduff, O Scotland, Scotland. Malcolm, if such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken. Macduff, fit to govern, no, not to live, O nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody sceptred, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne by his own interdiction stands accursed, and does blasphemy his breed. Thy royal father was a most sainted king, and the king that bore thee Oftener upon her knees than on her feet died every day she lived. Fare thee well. These evil thou repeatest upon thyself hath banished me from Scotland. O my breast, thy hope ends here. Malcolm. I'll be right back. I need to fill up my water. Sorry, give me 1 second and then I'm going to go and fill up my water, and then I'll be back. Okay, awesome. I'll be back in a second. Okay. Malcolm. Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. Devilish Macbeth, by many of these trains, hath sought to win me into his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from overtreadless haste. But God above deal between thee and me, and even now I put myself in thy I put myself to thy own direction, and unspeak mine own detraction. Here abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself for strangers to my nature. I am yet unknown to woman, never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted what was mine own, and no time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow and delight no less in truth than life. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I am truly is thine and my poor country's to command, whither indeed before thy here approach, old seaward with 10,000 warlike gentlemen, already at a point was settling forth, will now together and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent? Macduff. Such welcome and unwelcome things at once, 'tis hard to reconcile. Enter a doctor. Malcolm. Well, more none. Comes the king forth, I pray you? Doctor. Ay, sir, there are a crew of wretched souls that stay his care. Their malady conceives the great essay of art, but at his touch such sanctity hath heaven given his hand. They presently amend. Malcolm. I thank you, doctor. Exit doctor. Macduff. What's the disease he means? Malcolm. 'Tis called the evil, a most miraculous work in this good king, which often since my here remain in England, I have seen him do, how he's solicits heaven himself best knows, but strangely visited people, all swollen and uncarious, pitiful to the eye, the mere despair of surgery, he cures, hanging a golden stamp about their necks, put on with holy prayers, and 'tis spoken to the succeeding royalties he leaves, the healing benediction. With this strange virtue he hath a heavenly gift of prophecy, and sundry blessings hang about his throne, and that speak him full of grace. Enter Ross, Macduff. See who comes here. Malcolm. My countryman, but yet I know him not. Macduff. My ever gentle cousin, come hither. Malcolm. I know him now. Good God betimes remove the means that makes us strangers. Ross. Sir, amen. Macduff. Stands Scotland where it did? Ross. Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. I cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where nothing but who knows nothing is once seen to smile, where sighs and groans and shrieks that rend the air are made, not marked, where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. The dead man's knell is there scarce asked for who, and good men's lives expire expired before the flowers in their caps, dying on air thy sicken. I'm sorry, I know I just took a break to fill up my water, but I need to take a very quick break right now. So I will be back in a minute. There are only 5 pages left and still some time to donate to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. Macduff. Oh, relation, too nice and yet too true. Malcolm. What's the newest grief? Ross. That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker. Each minute teems a new one. Macduff. How does my wife? Ross. Why, well, Macduff. And all of my children? Ross. Well, too. Macduff. The tyrant has not battered at their peace? Ross. No, they were well at peace when I did leave 'em. Macduff. How goes it? Ross. When I came hither to transport the tidings which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out, which was, to my belief, witnessed the rather for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distress. Malcolm, be it their comfort where we are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good seaward and 10,000 men in order and better soldier none that Christendom gives out. Ross. Would I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that would be howled out in the desert air when hearing should not latch them. Macduff. What concern they? The general cause? Is it a fee grief due to some single breast? Ross. No mind that's honor, but in it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone. Macduff. If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly let me have it. Ross. Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard. Macduff. I guess at it. Ross. Your castle is surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. to relate the manner were on the quarry of these murdered deer to add the death of you. Malcolm. Merciful heavens, Macduff, what man ne'er pull your hat upon your brows, give sorrow words, the grief that does not speak whispers the o'er-fraught hearts and bids it break. Macduff. My children too? Ross. Wife, children, servants, all that could be found. Macduff. And I must be from thence. My wife killed too? Ross. I have said. Excuse me. Malcolm, be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief. Macduff. He hath no children. Are all my pretty ones? Did you say all? Oh, Hellkite, all? What, all my pretty chickens? And their damn at one fell swoop? Malcolm, dispute it like a man. Macduff. I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things were that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinful Macduff. They were all struck for thee. Not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now. Malcolm, be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger, blunt not the heart, enrage it. Macduff, oh, I could play the woman with mine eyes and braggart with my tongue, but, gentle heavens, cut short all intermission. Front to front bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself within my sword's length at him. If he scape heaven, forgive him too. Malcolm. If he scape heaven, forgive him too. Malcolm, this tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long and never finds the day. Excellent. Act 5, Scene 1. Enter a doctor of psychic and a waiting gentlewoman. Doctor. I have 2 nights watched with you, but can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked? Gentlewoman. Since his majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterward seal it, and again return to bed, yet all this while in most fast sleep. Doctor. A great perturbation in nature to receive at once the benefit of sleep and do the effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say? Gentlewoman. That, sir, which I will not report after her. Doctor, you may to me, and 'tis you meet you should, gentlewoman, neither to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Enter Lady Macbeth with a taper. Lo you, here she comes. 'Tis is her very guise, and upon my life, fast asleep. Observe her. Stand close. Doctor, how came she by that light, gentlewoman? Why, it stood by her. She has a light by her continually. 'Tis her command. Doctor, you see her eyes are open. Gentlewoman, aye, but their scents are shut. Doctor, what is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands. Gentlewoman, it is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her continue in this quarter of an hour. Lady Macbeth, yet here's a spot. Doctor, hark, she speaks. I will set down what comes from her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly. Lady Macbeth, out, damn spot, out, I say. 1, 2, when. Why, then 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord. Fie, a soldier and afeard. What need we fear? Who knows it? And when none can call our power to account. Yet who would have thought the old man to had so much blood in him? Doctor, do you mark that? Lady Macbeth, the Thane of Fife has had a wife. Where is she now? What, will these hands ne'er be clean? No more o' that, my lord, no more o' that. You mar all with this starting. Doctor, go to, go to. You have known what you should not. Gentlewoman, she has spoke what she should not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known. Lady Macbeth, here's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh, oh, oh! Doctor, what a sigh is there! The heart is sorely charged. Gentlewoman, I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body. Doctor, well, well, well. Gentlewoman, pray God it be, sir. Gentlewoman, pray God it be, sir. Doctor, this disease is beyond my practice, yet I have known those who have walked in their sleep who died holily in their beds. Lady Macbeth, wash your hands, put on your nightgown, look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on's grave. Doctor, even so. Lady Macbeth, to bed, there's knocking at the gate. Come, 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 give me your hand. What's done cannot be done. To bed, to bed, to bed. Exit. Doctor, will she go now to bed? Gentlewoman, directly. Doctor, foul whisperings are aboard. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More needs she the divine than the physician. God, God, forgive us all. Look after her, remove from her the means of all annoyance, and still keep her eyes upon her. So good night. My mind she has mated and amazed my sight. I think but dare not speak. Gentlewoman, good night, good doctor. Excellent. Act 1, Scene 2. Excuse me, sorry. Okay. 5, Scene 2. Drum and colors. Enter Menteith, Caithness, Angus, Lennox, soldiers. Menteith. The English power is near, led on by Malcolm, his uncle Syward, and the good Macduff. Revenge is burning them for their dear causes. Would to the bleeding and the grim alarm excite the mortified man. Angus. Near Burnham Wood shall we well meet them? That way are they coming. Caithness. Who knows if Donalbain be with his brother? Lennox. For certain, sir, he is not. I have a file of all the gentry. There is Syward's son, and may unrough youths that even now protest their first of manhood. Menteith. What does the tyrant? Caithness. Great Dusain he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad, others that lesser hate him do call it valiant fury. But for certain he cannot buckle his distempered cause within the belt of rule. Angus. How does he feel his secret murders sticking on his hands? Now minutely revolts upbraid his faith breach. Those he commends move only in command, nothing in love. How does he feel his title hang loose upon him like a giant's robe upon a dwarfish thief? Menteith. Who then shall blame his pestered senses to recoil and start, when all that is within him does condemn itself for being there? Caithness. Well, march we on, to give obedience where 'tis truly owed. Meet we the medicine of the sickly weal, and with him pour we in our country's purge each drop of us. Lennox. Or so much as it needs to do the sovereign flower and drown the weeds. Make we our march towards Burnham. Exeunt marching. Act 5, Scene 3. Enter Macbeth, Doctor, and attendants. Macbeth. Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all, till Burnham Wood. Act 5, Scene 3. Enter Macbeth, Doctor, and attendants. Macbeth. Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all, till Burnham Wood removed to Dunsane. I cannot taint with fear. Where's the boy, Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt nor shake with fear. Enter servant. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon. Where gottest thou that goose look? Servant. There is 10,000 Macbeth. Geese, villain? Servant. Soldiers, sir. Macbeth. Go prick thy face, and over thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers, Patch? Death of thy soul. Those linen cheeks of thine are counselors to fear. What soldiers, Wayface? Servant. The English force, so please you. Macbeth. Take thy force hence. Exit servant. Seaton. I am sick at heart when I behold Seaton, I say. This push will cheer me over, or deceased me now. I have lived long enough. My way of life is fallen into the sere, the yellow leaf, and that which should accompany old age. As honor, love, obedience, troops of friends, I must not look to have, but in their stead curses not loud but deep, mouth, honor, breath, which the poor heart would fain deny, and dare not Seaton. Enter Seaton. Seaton, what's your gracious gracious pleasure? Macbeth, what news more? Seaton, all is confirmed, my lord, which was reported. Macbeth, I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my honor. Seaton, 'tis not needed yet. Macbeth, I'll put it on. Send out more horses, scare the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. Give me mine armor. How does your patient, doctor? Doctor, not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick coming fancies that keep from her rest. Macbeth, cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind deceased? Pluck from the memory of rooted sorrow, raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet oblivious antidote cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart? Doctor, therein the patient must minister to himself. Macbeth, throw psychic to the dogs, oh, none of it. To an attendant, come, put mine armor on. Give me my staff. Satan, send out. Doctor, the veins fly from me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. Pull it off, I say. What rhubarb cinna or what purgative drug would scour these English hence? Hearest thou of them? Doctor, I, my good lord, your royal preparation makes us hear something. Macbeth, I will not be afraid of death and bane till burning forests come to Dunsinane. Excellent, all but the doctor. Doctor, were I from Dunsinane away and clear, profit again should hardly draw me here. Exit. Act 5, Scene 4. The end of this show is very fast-paced. Act 5, Scene 4. Drum and colors. Enter Malcolm, Seward, Macduff, Seward's son, Menteith, Caithness, Angus, Lennox, Ross, and soldiers marching. Malcolm, cousins, I hope the days are near at hand that Chambers will be safe. Menteith, we doubt it nothing. Seward, what wood is this before us? Menteith, the wood of Burnham. Malcolm, let every soldier hew him down a barg and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery ere in report of us. Soldier, it shall be done. Seward, we learn no other but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane, and will endure our settling down before it. Malcolm, 'tis his main hope, for where there is advantage to be given, both more and less have given him the revolt, and none serve with him but constrained things whose hearts are absent too. Macduff, let our just censures attend the true event, and put we on industrious soldiership. Sir, thank you. Speaking of donors, thank you so much to my grandfather for donating $41. Thank you so much, Babaji. We are now at $1,121 raised for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, and sadly only 2 pages left in the reading of Shakespeare. I've had so much fun this week reading Shakespeare and raising money for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. And just so you know, even once I finish my reading for today, the fundraiser is still open till Sunday. So if you would like to make donations between today and Sunday, make sure you do it before Sunday, because Sunday is when the fundraiser ends. And thank you so much to all the generous donors. Seward, we learn no other but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsane, and will endure our setting down before it. Malcolm, 'tis his main hope, for where there is advantage to be given, both more and less have given him the revolt, and none serve with him but constrained things whose hearts are absent too. Macduff, let our just censors attend the true event, and put we on in industrious soldiership. Seward, the time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have, and what we owe. Thoughts speculative their unsure hopes relate, but certain issue strokes must aberrate, towards which advance the war. Exeunt marching. Act 5, Scene 5. Enter Macbeth, Satan, and soldiers with drum and colors. Okay. Macbeth. Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still they come. Our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie till famine and the eggs eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours, we might have met them dareful, bread to beard to beard, and beat them backward home. A cry within of women. What is that noise? Seaton. It is the cry of women, my good lord. Exit. Macbeth. I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been my senses would have cooled to hear a night's shriek, and my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir, as life were in it. I have suppend full with horrors, dirness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot once start me. Enter Satan. Seaton. Wherefore was that cry? Seaton. The queen, my lord, is dead. Macbeth. She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day. to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Enter a messenger. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly. Messenger. Gracious my lord, I should report to which I say I saw, but know not how to do it. Macbeth. Well, say, sir. Messenger. As did I stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move. Macbeth. Liar and slave. Messenger. Let me endure your wrath, if it be not so. Within this 3 mile may you see it coming. I say a morning grove. Macbeth. If thou speakest false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive, till fame cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the find that lies in truth. Fear not till Birman woods do come to Dunshire, and now a wood comes to Dunshire. Arm, and out. If this which he avouches does appear, there is nor flying hence nor tarrying here. I begin to be weary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell, blow wind, come rack. At least we'll die with harness on our back. Exeunt. Act 5, Scene 6. Drum and colors. Enter Malcolm, Syward, Macduff, and their army with bogs. I'm not sure for that word. Malcolm. Now near enough, your leafy screens throw down and show like those you are. You worthy uncle shall with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle. Worthy Macduff, and we shall take upon what else remains to do according to our order. Syward. Fare you well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight? Let us be beaten if we cannot fight. Macduff. Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath, those clamors, harbingers of blood and death. Exeunt. Alarms continued. Only 1 page left of Macbeth. Thank you so much, Jajo. Hello. Act 5, Scene 7. Enter Macbeth. Macbeth. They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one I am to fear or none? Enter young Syward. Young Syward. What is thy name? Macbeth. Thou'lt be afraid to hear it. Young Syward. No, though thou callest thyself a hotter name than any is in hell. Macbeth. My name's Macbeth. Young Syward. The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear. Macbeth. No, nor more fearful. Young Syward. Thou liest, abhorred tyrant. With my sword I'll prove the lie you speakest. Fight, and young Seward slain. Macbeth. Thou wast born of woman, but swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by man's that of a woman born. Exit with young Syward's body. Alarms. Enter Macduff. Macduff. That way the noise is. Tyrant, show thy face. If thou best slain with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched kerns whose arms are hired to bear their staves. Either thou make a Beth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge. I see again undeeded. There thou shouldest be. By this great clatter, one of the greatest notes seems bruited. Let me find him, fortune, and more I beg not. Exit alarms. Enter Malcolm and Seward. Seward. This way, my lord. The castle is gently rendered. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The noble thanes do bravely in your war. The day almost itself professes yours, and little is to do. Malcolm. We have met with foes that strike besides us. Seward. Enter, sir, the castle. Exit alarm. Ooh, one scene left. Act 5, Scene 8. Enter Macbeth. Macbeth. Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whiles I see lives, the gashes do better upon them. Enter Macduff. Macduff. Turn, hellhound, turn! Macbeth. Of all men else I have avoided thee. But get thee back, my soul is too charged with blood of thine already. Macduff. I have no words, my voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out. Fight. Alarm. Macbeth. Thou losest labor. As easy mayst thou the entrenchant air with thy keen swords impress, and as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born. Macduff. Despair thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped. Macbeth. Accursed be that tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowered my better part of man, and be these juggling fiends no more believed that palter with us in a double sense, that keep the word of promise to our ear and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee. Macduff. Then yield thee, coward, and I'll live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee as our rare monsters are, painted upon a pole and underwrit, here may you see the tyrant. Macbeth. I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse, though Burnham would be come to Dunsinane, and thou opposed, being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, Hold, enough! Exit fighting. Alarms. Re-enter fighting, and Macbeth slain. Exit Macduff with Macbeth's fighting. With Macbeth's body. Retreat and flourish. Enter with drum and colours. Malcolm, Seward, Ross, thanes, and soldiers. Malcolm. I would the friends we miss were safe arrived. Seward. Some must go off, and yet by these I see, so great a day as this is cheaply bought. Malcolm. Macduff is missing, and your noble son. Ross. Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived but till he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station where he fought, but like a man he died. Seward. Then he is dead? Ross. Aye, and brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end. Seward. Had he his hurts before? Ross. Aye, on the front. Seward. Why then God's soldier be he. Had I as many sons as I have heirs, I would not wish them to a fairer death. And so his knell is knolled. Malcolm. He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him. Sirad. He's worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score, and so God be with him. Here comes newer comfort. Enter Macduff with Macbeth's head. Macduff. Hail, king, for so thou art. Behold where stands the Usur's cursed head. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's peril, that speak my solution in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland! All, hail, King of Scotland! Flourish. Malcolm. We shall not spend a large expensive time before we reckon with your several loves and make us even with you. My thanes and kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honour named. What's more to do, which hath been planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought by self and violent hands, took off her life. This and what needful else that calls upon her by the grace of grace we will perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to all at once, and to each one whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone. Flourish, excellent omens. And that is the end of Shakespeare in 5 sittings. Just so thank you so much to everyone who has supported this, tuned in, watched, and especially those who have donated to Broadway Cares. The fundraiser link is in the description and in the comments, and the fundraiser is still open until Sunday, so you can still donate. Thank you very much, and this is Simon exiting. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.